All right, so there's the introduction of our players as we get ready for this evening's contest. Michael Neal coaching up the girls one more time before he sends them out to do battle. As Zig was mentioning, Southmoore, a very young team, still trying to find their identity and looking for their first win of the season.
Well, they're so young. They got 5 freshmen on the varsity roster, 2 sophomores, and 2 of those sophomores are starting. And one of them we highlighted in the open Madison Crandell and Brooklyn Haywood.
Ball is in the air, tipped and controlled by the Norman Tigers.
They were the only 2 returning starters. They started as freshmen last year.
Number 12 with the basketball, that's Michaela Parks. Washington wears number 10, which you identified as everybody touches the ball. The girl in the post is Embry. Nice backdoor pass, great ball movement. And an easy 2 points, and Norman's on the board first.
The freshman, Alea Henderson, ends up with it, the first bucket. A great ball movement against a 3-2 zone that Southmoore comes out with.
Kayla Neal is the guard here for Southmoore with the basketball, has trouble. Is able to get it back, looking for help. Norman coming out, playing as much defense as they can, right in the face, and a turnover forced by the Norman defense.
Just tough pressure defense. When Neely picked up her dribble, the Lady Tigers were in her face.
12 is Parks, who launches a long one. In and out, no good. Rebound to the Lady Cats. Brooklyn Haywood with the basketball out top between the circles. Looking for the backdoor pass, and it's taken away. Behind the back dribble, here come the Lady Tigers.
Nice steal by Parks.
Perry to Washington. In the post to Embry.
Double team.
Open from the corner. Good job by Southmoore. Got back on defense. Not allowing anything too easy. Going to make Norman work for it. Long 3 from way outside is short. Long shot, long rebound.
So you're running that zone and you're forcing Norman to take deep threes, and they finally hit one. It's Washington. 1 out of their first 3 from deep.
Washington averages 13.7 a game with 3 assists. About as many steals per contest as well. You can bet if she was playing on another team, Mike, she'd be averaging 18, 20 or more. But they have so much talent, so much depth on this basketball club. Southmoore shot from the top of the circle and knocking it down there. Number 23, that's Haywood. And a nice answer bucket there for the Lady Sabercats. Embry drives hard to the bucket, puts it up and good. Going to be hard to stop that.
She's just so physical and strong, and then you step toward her and she takes 1 step and she's by you.
Ball comes out top. Jordan Pennon with the basketball. Pass underneath. And out of bounds, and it will belong to Norman. Played just over 3 minutes of basketball here. 7-3. Lady Tigers on top.
And for Southmoore, you got to hang on to the basketball. That's their 3rd turnover right now in the first quarter. We've only played 3 minutes, Steve. They're going to have to hang on to the ball and get some shots.
Inside, Embry uses the left hand. Shot's no good.
A little contact that time with Kayla Neely.
Pull up 3 from beyond the arc, skips off the front of the rim, goes out of bounds, and it will be Norman basketball.
And Norman's only loss, as you mentioned, in the open, Deer Creek, who's was ranked number 12 at the time. They're now ranked ahead of Norman, obviously, in the standings, in the rankings. They haven't lost since then. They've won 8 straight.
Whistle foul inside. Against Southmoore.
And they're going to that ever tough Carl Albert tournament. this weekend. There's a bunch of tournaments around the state last week, and then this next weekend, there's a lot more. And then after that, everybody's playing out the regular season until we hit playoffs.
Great time of year. If you're a basketball fan, make sure you get out. Pretty good crowd here at Norman tonight, as there should be. Supporting the girls. Free throw. Lefty shot there by Henderson is no good. So she misses the free throws. And Southmoore comes back as we go to the halfway point here in this first quarter. Tough pass, out of bounds, going to be ruled off Norman, still Southmoore basketball.
Norman's going to play tough man-to-man or girl-to-girl, woman-to-woman defense, whatever you want to call it. They're going to put a lot of pressure on you. Now they're doing a little bit of switching on the screens.
It's going to be a push foul called against number 25. That's going to be on Morgan Ashton. Ashton, a 6'1" senior. Haywood and Crandall are the returning starters for Sean Clark. The fourth team foul against Southmoore here in the early going. Turnover. Pass inside, and a whistle and another foul. And going back to the free throw line will be Aaliyah Henderson. 9.8 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per contest.
What's your favorite, apple or cherry tart?
That's a good. I think I have to go cherry on that one. I like the crust more than anything, to be perfectly honest with you.
There's your wife calling you. Yeah. Lay off the cherry turnover, Steve.
What's Ziegenhorn trying to do to you? Get back to my playing weight, Mike. Got a ways to go. Gets the free throw, 1 of 2. 8-3 lead now for the Lady Tigers.
If Southmoore, your objective is to slow things down. You don't want to get into a running game with Norman. You're running that zone defense, trying to force them to take long shots and keep the score close while you can.
5 turnovers now for Southmoore. Norman again on the attack, leading it by 5 here. Washington, nobody comes out to guard her.
You don't leave her open. I don't care how far out she is. She's going to hit it.
She's got 2 threes already. That gives her 6 on the night. And out to a Tigers.
5'7" junior playmaker, great on-ball defender. You see her working right there, and then the double team out high. And another turnover. That's 6. How about that?
Everything is contested. They are aggressive, and they've got the athletes to do it. Perry drives in.
She is
another
again.
3. This one skips off. A little long. Loose basketball. Southmoore comes away with the rebound. Madison Crandall.
A trap. A foul against Norman. It's going to go on Michaela Parks.
2:01 left to go here in our first quarter of play. So happy to be bringing you basketball here this evening. Another turnover on Southmoore. And obviously that's the biggest problem they've had so far tonight. Can't hang on to the basketball, but you have to credit the defense played by Norman. Washington tries to penetrate. That's going to be a blocking foul. She wasn't set. It's going to be so hard to get set in front of Washington. She's so quick, can just dart and dash either way.
And take a look and just she cuts right through the zone after the quick pass.
2-shot foul for Washington. Good on the first. There's a good look at the young junior. Received offers from Tulsa, San Francisco, Oral Roberts, North Texas, Tulsa, Indiana State, Wichita State. I mean, everywhere.
Keep reading.
Yeah, I only got halfway through. Those were some of the bigger ones, and you can bet as a junior, more of those to come. 8 points now for Washington. It's a 10-point lead for the Lady Tigers. Nice pass inside. A little too much on the shot, however, and Norman back the other way. Impressive moves inside. There's Embry with the offensive putback, good for 2.
Well, 2 offensive rebounds, and if you're Southmoore, you really got to block out. Embry definitely a handful down low, but Henderson was also able to get an offensive rebound off her miss.
Left-handed shot inside. Wouldn't go down. Good effort there by Crandall. Yeah, Embry is the 57th ranked player. As you take a look at the replay again, just missed getting that in the 3-point play opportunity. And Washington is ranked 60th. That's nationally, folks.
Yeah.
You got 2 in the top 60 on one little team here in Oklahoma. Free throw is good by Madison Crandall. Second one is good as well.
Pretty quick moving first quarter. The zone is allowed for some of that. A couple of missed shots. Nice defense that time by Southmoore.
Crandall backs out. Lost it. Turnover number 8. Driving, Washington puts it up, left it short. Rebound, Perry gets it back again. Still fighting, looks for some help, and she's fouled on the play. Foul's going to be called there on number 12. That's going to be on Shelby Sylvester. That's the 15th foul here in the first half. And checking in for Southmoore, number 15 is Nevia Stoudemire, 5'7" junior. Perry on the wing to Parks. Henderson, cross-court pass. Now inside to Embry. Turns, shoots. Embry's shot is short. And coming away with the miss is Jessica McManus. And then a steal, and then 2 more.
Just so quick.
Crandall tried to drive in there. She's going to draw the foul. They're big, they're quick, they're physical. I mean,
you can't relax. They had 3 Southmoore players there in Washington, and she got the ball. And then turned and fed her teammate for an easy layup.
Free throw up and good by Crandall. She'll get his second as it should be the final action here in this first quarter of play. And that'll do it. Very convincing quarter for the Norman Lady Tigers after one period of play here from Norman High School. It's Norman on top. They lead Southmoore by a score of 17-7 right here on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
Drive the new 2020 Ford Explorer today with 0.9% financing plus $2,500 bonus cash at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Hi, I'm Steve Perillo of Perillo Tours. For 3 generations, we've offered tours to Italy for millions of vacationers.
It was an experience of a lifetime.
With Perillo, we went to the front of the lines. Best vacation ever.
From Rome, we went to Sorrento, then Naples, and Pompeii was spectacular. Dying to go back, Jay.
Oh, yes, yes. Take me with you.
Call now for your free brochure. Call in the next 30 minutes and get this free $100 gift card. And don't forget to ask about our Hawaii tours. Call 800-452-6915.
Welcome back to Norman High School as we get ready for second quarter action. number 4 rated Lady Tigers on top by 10. They lead Southmoore 17-7. Lady Cats basketball as we start second play action. Steve Marshall, Mike Ziegenhorn, and the crew from YurView. Happy to bring you all the action here. Our first basketball game of the basketball season.
It's great to see our crew. Hadn't seen everybody since football season ended back in November for us. Look at that. Did she call glass?
I don't know that she did. Brooklyn Haywood. How about that? Take it any way you can get it right now. That gets them within 7.
It's Haywood. Southmoore, they've got all 10 of their points. It's good to see everybody out. Be down here in Norman.
Perry drives, kicks. Washington 3-ball. In and out. Embry rebound. Goes up and under. Missed it. A little too much on that one. Southmoore back the other way in transition.
Washington's all over it. Nice backdoor cut, and then great tip away by Michaela Parks.
Loose basketball, bodies on the floor, and it will belong to Southmoore. Dwayne Doolittle, your official. His son does a little basketball playing for University of Oklahoma. Longtime leader of the Referees Association. Don't know what the official name of that is, but you get the gist.
The Referees Association.
Okay. Embry with the basketball. Taking it length of floor, fakes the pass, puts the shot up, no good.
Good call. She kind of picked up her dribble and I think had something in her mind, and her feet had something else in mind what she wanted to do. And that's the team's second turnover here in the first half.
Yeah, I know that story all too well.
What, turnovers? Yeah, the
well,
cherry or the apple again.
The body wanted to do one thing and the mind the other.
Yeah. That happens. That's from eating too many cherry turnovers growing up in St. Louis, I think. With your Ted Drew's ice cream.
Oh yeah, gotta have that. Frozen custard.
Yeah, I call it ice cream, frozen custard.
Please.
I know. I get slapped around.
Can't believe he only had 2 locations. I mean, he could have had 20 up there.
You market it. You want people standing out in the street.
Southmoore with the basketball. Long 3 on the way. Good. Sylvester with a 3. Her first points of the contest.
How about that?
3 threes and 4 free throws. Looking for the conventional 2, but Washington is there. Knocks it away from behind and out of bounds. And all of a sudden, we've got ourselves a 4-point ball game.
And Washington turned the Jets on real quick. Grendel thought she was going to get a layup. Washington just blazing down the court. Tipped the ball away.
17-7 at the end of the first quarter. But Sabercats have come out and put together a nice little 6-0 run to get this back to within 4 points.
I didn't even see who called the timeout. Did you? I don't
It
know
was
it Clark?
Yeah, Clark called the timeout.
I thought Michael Neal might have, because of the way they were playing a little flat. They've come out flat here in the second quarter. Of course, you always look flat when the other team hits a couple of long threes. It makes it a 4-point game all of a sudden when you're up 10 at the half. But Southmoore playing a little bit better in this quarter.
Yeah, I look at him and I wonder why it isn't they haven't won a game this year. I mean, you got to think that there's going to be a few wins coming their way before the season wraps up. Here we go with the basketball. Southmoore out top. This is Haywood. She's already hit a pair of threes. Drives right side. Good defensive play as Parks was able to get a hand on the basketball. Now the outlet pass, driving the other way, and a foul going to be called against Southmoore.
I'd love to see Henderson in Washington. She catches the ball right there and just blows by the defender. And Jenna McManus had to kind of recover there at the last second to create the foul.
Left-hander from the stripe, first one good. First points of the second quarter for Norman. And the next one good as well. She has 7. Washington with 8 to account for 15 of their 19 points to this point. Knocked away from behind. Southmoore retains possession.
Well, Embry playing great defense. 35 feet from the hoop. They are not giving an inch. Southmore's having trouble even getting into their offense, Steve.
Trying to just get a good shot off. That one hits the side of the backboard and a whistle and a foul called. That's going to go on Sylvester. 1-and-1 situation now coming up for the Lady Tigers. Marks has yet to score on the night. She's just a sophomore. The free throw is good for Parks. Made the first, gets the second on the way. 2 for 2. Back to an 8-point lead for Norman. Inside, little turnaround shot. That's good.
Good shot from that left side.
Crandall with her first field goal of the night. Back the other way, Norman. Missed the shot. Sophomore comes away with the basketball. So after trailing by 10, they're still within 6 now, and they have possession. 3. A little too long. Parks comes away with the miss. Henderson spins, tries to go up, and is fouled in the play. McManus is whistled for the foul as you take a look at the replay.
Nice spin move. Acted like she was going to go baseline. When the defender went that way, she just did the spin move. And then created the contact by spinning toward the bucket.
This is the first free throw. I think that's the first free throw they've missed so far in the ballgame.
She had missed one earlier.
She had, okay.
Yeah.
Justin Tinder is our stat man here tonight. Between the two of you, you should be able to keep me in line. Substitutions in for the Sabercats. Henderson will sit down for Norman. Six-point lead right now for Southmoore as they have the basketball. Sylvester across the timeline, picked up by Washington. Good move. Quick defense stops her penetration. Norman defense is just unrelenting. You've got to be a pretty disciplined basketball team in order to beat the pressure defense that they apply. Dump it inside. That's going to be a foul over the back called against Norman. That's going to go on Braden Brown. Just the 4th team foul. So Southmoore will inbound underneath the Norman basket. Have to go out top, dump it to the wing. Sylvester 3 in the air is good.
She found her range out there.
3-point ball game.
How about that?
Outscoring Norman 8-4, or rather 11-4 here in the second quarter. Embry missed the shot, fights for her own rebound. volleyball pass back in. And Sylvester comes down with the rebound and she's fouled.
The zone defense that Southmoore is running is giving Norman a little bit of trouble this half. They're also not allowing him to get up and down the court. And the other thing, Southmoore hasn't turned the ball over as much as they did in the first quarter, which led to a lot of those points that Norman was able to score in that first. What, they have eight turnovers in the first quarter?
Yeah, I think so.
Better control of the basketball, and as I say that, Washington almost comes up with a steal. And that's going to be a walk. Good call.
Ran into the defense. Shuffled her foot. That's the 10th turnover now for Southmoore. Take a look.
A little bit out of control.
.230 left to go. First half of play. Long three from the outside is good. Knocking it down is Michaela Parks. Back out to a 6-point lead. Inside, whistling a foul. From behind, that's going to be called on Parks.
Good ball, better ball movement by Southmoore. Able to get inside, just got fouled and didn't get the easy bucket.
Ashton at the free throw line makes the first. Checking back in is Henderson for Norman as Mika Perry will take a seat. Two free throws up and good. Henderson in Washington, Embry, Parks, and also number 21 out there for Norman, Brady Brown.
Starts hitting that, Steve. Look out. I mean, she does need the team. 3-point percentage, field goal percentage, shooting, points, rebounds. So, yeah, she can hit that. But, man, you got to guard her out there and down low, and then another deep three. McManus hits it again.
Southmoore hanging tough. Minute and a half left to go. Washington for three. Wow. I've never seen a game with so many threes and so few two-point buckets.
It's a festival of threes. They got a contest going on.
I've got both teams with 5. 5 threes. Or 10 total.
11 turnovers now for Southmoore, but a much better second quarter hanging on to the basketball. Yet they still find themselves down 7. Kind of bouncing between 3 and 4, and Washington again.
And what was a 3-point lead just a while ago is now on a 12-5 run for Norman. That got to a 10-point lead. 40 seconds left to go, first half of play. Southmoore, good look at a three here. Top of the key, in and out, no good. Rebounded, taken in by Parks. Plenty of time, she pulls up at the free throw line, missed the shot. Embry with a big rebound and goes strong to the bucket and puts it up with the left hand, good for 2. Biggest lead of the night so far, now out to 12. Ball knocked out of bounds. It's almost like Norman flipped the switch here just a while ago. It was 24-20. And since then, it's an 11-3 run in favor of Norman. Substitutions checking in with 17 seconds remaining in this first half. Washington comes up with the steal, takes it away, drive, shot no good, whistling a foul. And Haywood is going to get called for the foul. Take a look once again. Just look at the raw explosiveness. She's able to get inside, draws the foul. And she'll shoot 2. First one is good for Washington. I've got her with 12 now. We'll check all the stats at halftime. Take a look at some of the replays as well. Second one is no good. In the backcourt, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, pass deep in the corner, catch, release, on the way, skips off, no good. And that's the end of our first half of play. Well, Southmoore kept it close. They were within 3 about midway through that second period, but right now it stands as a 13-point lead for the Norman Lady Tigers. Our score 36-23. Courtside, Mike Ziegenhorn standing by.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve. Coach, solid first quarter. Second quarter, they made a little bit of run at your girls.
Yeah, they found shots in the offense and made some threes, sometimes with the hand in their face, sometimes when they were open. We gotta do a way better job. They do a good job of finding their shooters, and that's how they generate offense in half court. I think if we can just tighten up a little bit and just have awareness of who we're guarding, we should fix that in the third quarter and fourth quarter.
All right, good luck second half, Coach. Steve?
All right, thank you very much. Michael Neal, the head coach of his number 4 girls, are on top here at Norman High as they lead Southmoore by a score of 36-23. We'll continue with stats and highlights coming your way and much more right here on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Stay with us.
Drive a new Ford Expedition today with 0% financing for 72 months plus $12.50 bonus cash at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Listen to this. Money to the IRS. You will want to hear this. Penalties and interest compound daily on your back taxes, putting you under a mountain of debt. Tax 10,000 has years of experience connecting people with tax resolution specialists. Working through the IRS Fresh Start program, they will handle all the necessary forms, and if you qualify, you may end up saving thousands of dollars. Call Tax 10,000 at 800-641-9288.
Attention! Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, listen to this important message about the IRS Fresh Start Program, a special IRS program that can potentially save you thousands by qualifying. The Fresh Start Program is one of the best programs the IRS has created to help struggling taxpayers that can't pay their taxes. Don't take on the IRS by yourself, and get ready as we are going to give you the most important number you may ever need to end your IRS nightmare. Call Tax Relief 123 now at 800-276-1292 for free information. Since qualifying for the Fresh Start Program is not automatic, Tax Relief 123 will connect you with a tax professional for a free consultation. Once you're accepted, the IRS must stop all harassing collection activities. Imagine no threatening phone calls, no wage garnishments or bank levies, and no more living in fear of the IRS. Call 800-276-1292 now to find out if you may qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start Program. Call Tax Relief 123 to speak with a tax professional for a free consultation at 800-276-1292. Call 800-276-1292.
Welcome back, everybody. Looking on as the student body enjoying the game tonight. If they're from Norman High, and they are on top, leading it by 13, 36-23. Ziggy pointed out a 9-0 run. Let's take a look at those highlights.
Kelby Washington early. It's a big three from the outside. She could probably shoot it from half court and make it. Southmoore had a little trouble with turnovers in the first quarter, Steve. 8 of them. Hit some open shots. Use their zone defense to kind of stifle Norman a little bit. Shantae Embry drives it inside. She can shoot it inside, outside, and then Washington another deep three. And then you get into the second quarter action, and it was just a festival of threes from both teams. Great turnover and steal right there. The pass from Washington. And then Southmoore, that one got him going. The one off the glass. And here was back-to-back. Shelby Sylvester hit a couple of them from the outside. And Southmoore was hitting those threes. Some of them, as Coach Neal said, contested, some not contested. Right. They got to within 4, and then Norman goes on a 9-point run to end the quarter.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the stats as you watch your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Number 4 rated Norman Lady Tigers. They're on top by 13.
Drive the new Ford Ranger today and save with up to $4,250 total cash back at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Here is the perfect chicken finger. 4 of them, actually. Oh, yeah. They're hand battered. Cooked to order. And made with love. Raising Cane's chicken fingers will make you say, oh, yeah. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Men, want to feel younger, stronger, leaner? You don't have to slow down after 40. New Nugenix Total T is our most powerful man-boosting formula ever because it boosts your free testosterone and your total testosterone. Nugenix Total T helps provide even more energy, performance, testosterone, and muscle-boosting ingredients for even better results. Text TIGHT to 321321 now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. That's TIGHT to 321321.
Welcome back, everybody, as we take a look at the first half stats. My partner, Mike Ziegenhorn.
Well, take a look at the field goal shooting. Both teams really pretty hot, Steve, at about 50%. And look at that, 70% from the three-point line for Norman, 5 out of 7 for the Sabercats, and both of them are red hot. Free throw-wise, Sabercats have not missed a foul shot. Rebounds, the Tigers are crashing the board real well, and look at the turnovers, 12 turnovers for Southmoore. And that's got to be a point of contention for Coach Sean Clark. Hang on to the basketball. When they did it in the second quarter, didn't turn it over. They got back into the game within 3, and then they turned it over a couple of times, gave up some threes. Next thing you know, they're down 9 or down 13 at the half.
All right, so there's a look at the numbers. You've seen the highlights. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back and get ready for more here on the halftime show. 36-23. Norman's on top.
Drive the 43-year best-selling Ford F-150 with 0% for 60 months plus $4,500 bonus cash at your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Switching to Cox Business helped Steve build a more connected company. Fast, reliable internet with speed options up to 10 gigs. And adding the latest Wi-Fi technology keeps things moving. Plus, it's all protected by our security suite. Voice solutions he can manage from any connected device, in and out of the office, lets him do business anywhere. With services backed by 24/7 support and around-the-clock network monitoring, Steve knows his business is in good hands. Take advantage of this limited-time offer when you switch to Cox Business today.
The right connection can open a world of curiosity for your child. With Cox, families that have a K-12 student and receive government assistance could qualify for low-cost home internet with Wi-Fi. That means more learning and more achieving. Qualify now. It's time to connect with Cox.
There's a look at your score, everybody. A strong run by Norman there at the end of the first half, 9-0. As we are ready to talk to the coach, find out what he has to say about the second half. Take it over, Zig.
Great second quarter after turning it over 8 times in the first.
Yes.
Got back in the game, and then Norman made a little bit of a run.
First quarter, I think we had a little bit of the jitters, just kind of working through it. I understand that we can go out and compete, in which we did in the second quarter. Now I'm just trying to come out this third quarter and maintain that success.
A lot of three-pointers being thrown up by both teams. Everybody's red hot.
Yeah, we're going to try to do something about it this half.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right, so there's head coach Sean Clark. His team still looking for their first win of the season. Driven is coming back to YurView for its second season. The first new episode will premiere Sunday, February 9th at 8 p.m. Host Tom Gregory will take you to Audrain's Newport Concourse and Motor Week. Look for Jay Leno and about $1 billion worth of cars. Driven is about cars and the people who love them. Catch the first new episode Sunday, February 9th at 8 p.m. on YurView. So we are all set to go. Second half action ready to get underway. there's a look at young Miss Henderson. She had a big first half. Individual scoring, I had Washington for 12, Henderson for 10, Embry with 9, and 5 for Michaela Parks. And then 3 players with 6 points for Southmoore, Crandall, Haywood, and Sylvester. And Norman's going to shoot the 3 to start the second half. That one is short, and we are underway.
You heard what Coach Clark said. Hey, we can't let him shoot so many threes and be that open. They've got that zone defense, and they pushed him out, but they're hitting the deep 3.
Nice move, puts it on the floor, drives. That's going to be a foul. Blocking foul called on Mika Perry. It's going to be her second team foul, or second personal foul, rather. And going to the free throw line is Madison Crandall, who misses the first.
We talk about Southmoore, Steve, and they've struggled in a couple of games this year. They scored 17 in a loss to Mustang, 12 in a loss to Stillwater. So there's been some games, yeah, and you watch them play tonight and you think, how did that happen in those games where they weren't I mean, they scored 16 in the second quarter against this Norman team, who is a really good defensive basketball team.
Yeah, they would be one of those teams that might surprise a much higher ranked team come postseason time. Shot from the baseline is up and good. Nice bucket there by Jordan Pennant, her first 2 of the night.
Not sure what happened to Embry. I don't know if she got hurt going down the court. Seems to be, she told the referee she was okay. Southmoore can make a little run to give them a ball game here in the third quarter.
Really spreading the floor, and Norman's going to go out and read them. And they're going to try and contest most everything. Long shot for 3, no good.
Great rebound. Morgan Ashton, the 6'1" senior center, reached up and over Embry. Just unable to get it to go in, and then tapped out of bounds by Washington.
Southmoore with the basketball, trailing by 11. Nice pass inside underneath, and a whistle and a foul. Washington a little too late that time.
Look what they've done. They've spread everybody out behind the three-point line. They're trying to catch Norman napping a little bit, and I think that's what happened on that. Washington quick enough to recover. Crandall snuck in behind him.
Well, I don't think they missed a free throw in the first half, and now I think they're 0 for 3 in the second half. Next one on the way. Missed that one.
Those things always even out, don't they?
Somehow, some way. Perry has not scored yet. She averages 10.5 points per game. A shot from the baseline and the whistle and a foul. Kelby Washington goes to the free throw line, 12 points. Leads all scorers to this juncture of the game. And first free throw is good.
Yeah, just so smooth when she shoots the basketball.
This is the second.
Nice job by Henderson to get in there between 2 Southmoore players and fight for the rebound, and it ended up going off Southmoore.
Inbound, they get it to Perry. Now Washington out top. Drive to the basket, whistle and a foul, and 2 shots coming up.
Wow, good move
for Perry.
Perry picked up her dribble about 10 feet away. 1, 2 quick steps, a little Euro step. Knifes her way through the defense and gets hacked. Perry, just a sophomore, 5'11". She also has schools like Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Tulsa, Kansas State, all looking at her. But Coach Neal sent us that list of all his players. It's like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
He's putting too much pressure on himself.
We had Sherry Cole on the radio with us today. Of course, you can't ask her if she's looking at anybody. I did that a couple years ago. She goes, Steve, you know you can't do that. I said, sorry, Coach, forgot.
She should say, yeah, I'm looking at everybody.
And then the young lady that's playing over at Moore High School, Aaliyah Moore, is one of the more outstanding players, and she's been offered by just about everybody, including OU. Girls basketball strong in the state of Oklahoma, as it usually is.
Well, you know, Sherry Cole won 2 state championships here at Norman High before heading over to OU. 1996.
That was the year I did it, and then the next year, what did she? Because one year Lynn Llewellyn took over and won the state tournament right after Sherry did. Sherry left the program packed.
She took over an OU program that they disbanded for a day. I think they realized, oh shoot, we can't do that.
15-point lead. Southmoore. That was maybe a little bit too much right hand on the back there. Poked it through. It's like watching the NFL games whenever a guy knocks the pass away. Yeah, but his other arm trailing is grabbing the guy around the waist.
Or pulling his jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
14 turnovers now for Southmoore. It's got to be driving Coach Clark nuts. Like having trouble hanging on to the basketball, but part of that is the Norman defense. It's stifling.
Embry inside, gets the bucket and the foul. She's into double figures. Watch this move.
That body language. Come on, fall in. Embry with that double-double. Having 16 points and 11 rebounds. She's got 12 points tonight.
So a timeout on the floor. It's a 7-2 run to start this second half for the Norman Lady Tigers. They now have their biggest lead of the night at 18. Here's a look at what we've got coming your way. You can watch the replay tonight after the boys game is over. Girls game will start at 9 o'clock. The boys at 10:30. Roughly. And then don't forget, that'll also be shown on Friday with the girls game at 7 and the boys game at 8:30. Just go to YouTube and search for the Ford Game of the Week.
Have you ever been on YouTube?
Like
you have now?
On the site?
Yeah. Well, no, just
they put a bunch of old.
You're on YouTube.
They put a bunch of old TV broadcast. I mean, I didn't have gray hair at the time. That's how old this was.
Oh, that's why I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, right. And that would have been one of those Guthrie Carl Albert games I remember. And then we did the game over at Douglas, where I still run into one of the kid who was the player of the game. And I've run into him at the gym every so often.
Does he have gray hair yet?
No, he does not have gray hair.
It's just you.
It's just me. 18-point advantage for the Lady Tigers.
You do these high school games, Steve, you get gray hair, but these kids are always the same age, right?
Yeah.
Well, I love the defensive effort from Norman. They're up 18. They are not letting up a bit.
Well, that comes from your coaching that, you know, at practice he probably doesn't allow any slouching either. He's just on them all the time. And, hey, if you're not going to play the way I want you to play, there's somebody else just dying to get in that lineup. As we said earlier, this is a talented team. It's a tall team. It's a physical team. And it's a working team. Lob inside. Embry slides over. And looks like, I don't like the way she landed on that knee.
Morgan Ashton.
Shake that off.
Maybe hyperextended a little bit when she came down, it looked like.
Hopefully it gets better as she moves it around a little bit. Grimacing as she tries to play defense. She may be coming out of there pretty soon. Yeah, she's going to step out. Checking back in will be Brooklyn Haywood. Three from the corner is no good. Crandall outside. Another three. Sylvester's coming off the bench, doing a good job.
Madison Crandall hits another three-pointer. We're not talking, they're not standing right next to the line, as I mentioned earlier, Steve. They're 3, 5, 7 feet behind the line hitting.
Washington from way outside, no good. Pass to the front court. Blocked, but foul with the body called against Norman.
With that zone, you've got to be so patient, and after a while you're thinking, okay, we've got to do something offensively, and a lot of times you throw up a shot. Now, they were hitting a lot of those in the first half, but have not had as much success here in the second.
Free throw is good. Neal with her first free throw, misses the second. Tempo is slowed down a little bit. Washington, nice move, left it off to the right side. Embry's there for the putback. Second attempt is good.
Padding those stats, got 2 offensive rebounds right there. That's why she's averaging a double-double.
Yeah.
I'm not because she's padding her stats, because she's very good and athletic inside and can get a lot of rebounds.
Moving around the perimeter. Washington stops, starts, great pass to Embry and a foul.
No look pass, she flipped it to her. May have caught Embry off guard a little bit.
That's the 4th foul on Kayla Neal. Embry at the free throw line. First is good. I've got her for 15 now.
We talked about with Sherry Cole, her final 2 years here at Norman, she was 53-2.
I called the infamous game when they beat Lawton Eisenhower. I think it was 103-19. And there was no padding. They were that good and that deep off the bench, and Eisenhower couldn't even get the ball across the timeline. I took a lot of phone calls the next day on the radio about how come they were running up the score. I said, I was there, I called it, they didn't.
Well, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just stand there and dribble?
Yeah.
Play defense.
And then that was the same year that Norman's boys went to the finals and played Booker T that had R.W. McQuarters, Eton Thomas, and Ryan Humphrey.
Yeah. They were pretty good.
Steal.
You just can't lob a pass like that right in front of Washington.
And this is getting away from them, and it has gotten away from them real quick. Southmoore just 3 points here in this third quarter. I'm sorry, 6 points.
Stop and pop, high arching shot won't go. Here comes Norman. Perry driving, dishing inside. Washington try to go back to Emery, but a whistle and a foul on the play beforehand.
Both teams with 5 fouls, so nobody's shooting yet.
Foul on Haywood, that's her second. Washington had it, stops and pops. In and out. Embry gets in there and takes it away, but she's going to get whistled for the foul. Henderson's going to check in for Embry. Roll the basketball in. Final 20 seconds of this third quarter of play. Looking at an open three. Off. No good. 6 seconds left. Washington. No look pass. A little too far out in front of Henderson. Out of bounds back over to Southmoore with 2 seconds remaining. 6 turnover in the half. Get it inbounded. Got to get it off. Does not get it off in time. And that's the way the third quarter ends. 51-29. 15-6 run for Norman in that third quarter of play. And they lead it on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We'll be back.
This is important news for people who have been exposed to the weed killer Roundup in commercial settings and later developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. According to the World Health Organization's research on cancer, the active ingredient in the weed killer Roundup, glyphosate, can cause cancers such as non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup in a commercial setting such as farming, landscaping, or golf course maintenance, and then developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you could be eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. If you or a loved one were exposed to the weed killer Roundup and were then diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the law offices of Davis and Crump right now to see if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Our first consultation is free, and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Welcome back, everybody. Ford Game of the Week. Lady Tigers at number 4.
I think it's Hawaiian night here or something, isn't it? Students?
I see that.
Or Florida night or something. You know, they were over there dancing around, having a good time.
Washington's had a good time tonight. Misses that lay-in. And Southmoore comes away with the rebound. It's full court pressure the whole time. And Norman forces the turnover. Got away with a foul there. And into the front court.
And Washington into the student section.
In and out. Here comes Parks the other way. Ahead Washington. Great pass to Henderson. That's just great teamwork right there.
Great touch pass. Well, they came out in scramble mode to start that fourth quarter. I think Coach Neal really wants to put this game on ice, doesn't he?
It's a little like a little volleyball pass there. So right, go ahead.
He was not happy with the official because Henderson got.
Yeah, and you could hear it.
Hit pretty good. And then I think it was It might have been Washington that got hit on the play before. I think he's just trying to protect his players. Wants to let the official know without making a big scene in front of everybody, because you're up 53-29.
Yeah.
You don't want to cause a big ruckus when you're winning that much, but you also need to make sure your players are protected. See if he calls him off a little bit here, or has it, looks like he's pulled him back.
.7:17 left to go, and don't forget, we've got game 2 of our doubleheader, the boys contest, the #1 boys team in the state, Southmoore Sabercats, taking on the Norman Tigers here, game 2 of our doubleheader. In trouble, finally gets rid of it. Tie basketball out of bounds, and gonna stay with Southmoore.
Embry set to check back in after getting a breather into the third, through the quarter break, and a minute here into the fourth.
Looking for some help to get it in bounds, throws it into the backcourt. Sylvester guarded there by Perry.
Sylvester, just a freshman, having her hands full tonight for Southmoore. But doing a nice job of helping the team move the ball around.
Good to see Morgan Ashton back in the lineup. I was worried that she maybe had something, although she still is a little gimpy on that knee. Southmoore looking to inbound. Trying to find somebody open, hard to do. Embry and Washington double teaming.
Look how quick Embry is sticking with Jordan Bennett.
That's what I was looking at too.
It's your forward hanging with a guard.
Drive blocked by Parks from behind. Picked back up by Ashton, missed the shot. And we got a foul underneath. Going to the free throw line will be Madison Crandall.
Crandall, one of 2 returning starters from a year ago. Started as a freshman for Coach Clark in his 4th year at Southmoore. You mentioned earlier, assistant at McGinnis when they won a state championship. Also coached at Mount St. Mary.
Embry going to take it to the hole, put it up off the glass, and good for 2 more. Long pass, going to be too far ahead, out of bounds, and Norman will get it on the change of possession. Yeah, they tried to give. Did she touch it?
Well, he said she ran out of bounds with the ball. So normally you throw it out of bounds, and no one touches it out of bounds.
Back where it came from.
You get it back where it came from. That's what Coach Neal was saying. And official on top of it said, "I'm down here, Coach. I saw it."
Washington kicks to the corner. Parks for 3. Good.
Got it.
Parks with her second 3 of the night. As Norman just continues to pour it on here in the second half. Remember, this game was 21-18 at one point, midway through that second quarter. But since then, Norman has shown us why they only have 1 loss in the season and are ranked number 4 in the state.
About the halfway point of the season, there's 10 games left for Norman. They go to the Carl Albert tournament
And then you got Westmore, Stillwater, Yukon, Moore, Norman North, Mustang, Moore.
Moore and Norman North will be contests.
They still got a little bit of a road ahead of them, but Washington with another clean pick and an easy bucket.
Like I said, I've seen her play soccer before, and she gets the ball. She's faster dribbling with the ball than most are without it, which probably could be said for the basketball as well. Stripped from behind, great team defense. Southmoore gets it back, shot on the way up and good. Good work.
You have a 21 turnovers for Southmoore. And again, yes, part of it is them not hanging on to the ball, but the big majority of it is that tough defense that Norman's throwing at them.
Penetrating, driving, putting it up off the glass and good. 2 more for Washington. I've got her for 19. Justin Tinder says, you got it right. I think that's the first one I got right all night. .406 left to go. Perry's a 5'11" sophomore starting at the guard position. I don't believe that she has scored tonight. She's made contributions in a lot of other ways with her ball handling. Free throw off the mark.
They haven't needed her, but at some point they will. She averages 10.5 a game. And Ansley Oral off the bench.
Her shot for 3 is good. And Parks drives in, and she's fouled on the play.
And so was our cameraman. He got fouled.
So don't take out the cameraman. People have no idea how much those cameras cost, right?
Is that a block or a charge on the camera? Let's see. On the replay, there's one foul, and then
were his wheels set?
Oh, yeah, he was. He was.
Okay.
That was a block or a charge. It was a charge. He blocked her, but she charged into him.
Substitute checking in for Southmoore. Number 10 is Ariana Ehlers. Ariana is a 5'7" junior. And taking a seat is Shelby Sylvester, who's done a nice job off the bench tonight. Parks has 11, now 12. They have doubled them up.
Well, nearly another steal by Washington. She forces the action. And 3.5 to go. She's probably coming out. It's a 1-and-1. We're gonna have to sub. She does come out, and what a night would she end up with?
I had her for 19 points. How many steals and assists? I don't know. She played lights out game as expected. I think you know who all the great basketball players were. The first time I did her game, I was like, I've never heard of her. She is amazing.
Yeah.
That was early in her freshman year, so I was not the only one late to the party. Embry to Henderson, left hand, up and good. And they're both just juniors. Wow.
Got them for one more year.
Plus whatever else comes along talent-wise. Perry's a sophomore. Henderson's a freshman. Washington a junior. Parks a sophomore. I only see 2 seniors on the roster. And I don't know that we've seen them tonight, but they're absolutely part of the team. Ryan Flecker and also Braden Brown, who we've seen a little bit of tonight here. Three from the top of the key is good. And Brooklyn Haywood knocks down another 3. 2:20 left to go in our ball game. Coach Neal pointed out as one of his keys to the game was he wanted to see his team play an entire game, not just a couple of good quarters.
I would say they've done that. Just a little bit of a stretch there in the second quarter where they kind of came out flat, and that's when Southmoore was able to make a run and get to within 3. And then they just dialed up the heat again defensively, and they also hit about 3 3-pointers in the last 2 minutes of that second quarter right before the half to stretch things back out.
Shane Roberts is in the lineup now. So is Ryan Flecker. Goes Henderson. Left-handed scoop shot. Misses the mark.
Nice motion offense there by Southmoore. Got a good shot, just couldn't hit it. Coach Neal calls timeout. I think he wanted to sub in a couple more players.
Millie Roberts, 5'5" junior, number 2, is about to check in. Hey, don't forget our next Ford game of the week will be Tuesday when the Booker T. Washington Hornets head to the UMAC to take on the Union Redskins. The girls game at 6:30, the boys at 8. Catch BTW versus Union girls and boys next Tuesday night on the Ford game of the week right here on YurView Channel 3.
I'll be there with my man Rod Thompson.
Stingray Rod.
Watching his boy Bryce and the defending state champs Booker T. Trey Phipps is going to OU. Bryce going to Kansas.
We had Rod on just about every week of the basketball season, kind of letting us know the lowdown. And
he never told you where he was going, did he?
No, he never did. He never leaked it to us. I didn't expect him to, and I didn't ask him to.
Yeah, I'm like you. I never asked. I figured if he wanted me to know, he'd tell me.
That's right.
Yeah, but what a great ceremony. I went out there when he announced an auditorium packed full of students. They were live on CBS HQ on the internet. The best part of the whole deal was they called Coach Self and played a joke on it. Bryce had changed his mind prior to the signing.
That is good. That is good.
And he kept trying to call Rod, and he wouldn't answer the phone, and he wouldn't answer text.
Was Snoop Dogg there?
No,
No, he didn't make that one. Final minute of play here. Inside pass, shots blocked. Jump ball called. Alternate possession will belong to, looks like it's going to be Norman. Going to get it across the timeline here. Pass into the high post, now drive to the basket. Shots put up there by Ainsley Orell. And she'll get the opportunity to go to the free throw line. Driving in, and she made sure she wasn't going to get that shot off. Orell looking for her first points of the night, gets the free throw. And the next one on the way is up, and that one's off the front of the rim, no good. 20 seconds left. Closest it was 21-18 midway through that second quarter. Just a 3-point advantage for Norman, but They are relentless. In your face, playing great defense the whole way. 2 seconds. Final shot at the buzzer on the way is good. It's a three from way downtown. Basket there is up and good for Jessica McManus. And that gives us our final score here tonight. 71-39. The Norman Lady Tigers get the victory here tonight. Improve their record now to 11-1 on the season. Next action for them. I think I said I believe that they were playing in that John Nobles tournament over at Moore. But big victory there for the Lady Tigers as they get the win here tonight. And head coach Michael Neal is walking over, and he will be a guest of our own Mike Ziegenhorn in just a second as he makes his way there. Zig, I'll let you take it away.
Really get off the court.
Hey, yeah, Coach, we can move off the court. I don't want to get run over. We'll back up this way just a little bit. Your team's performance today, offensively, you got 71, but I think the big key, the defense and the pressure and all the turnovers they forced.
Yeah, I think we can do a good job on the defensive end of at least keeping the ball in front of us whenever we're guarding it, so that helps out with everything. If we can do that and then force them into tough shots, rebound and get out and run, that helps our team. When we don't do that, we're not so good, and Southmoore did a really good job of exploiting us in the second quarter with that.
Young team still coming off a state championship. Are you still trying to have to push them a little bit midway through this season?
Well, they're pretty self-directed, so they'll push themselves, of course, with us. So we never have to worry about that. It's just staying locked in, kind of like we talked about at the beginning, for 40 minutes, and hopefully we get better at that by the time playoffs comes.
How about Kelby and Shantae? Talk about that double duo.
Not new to me. That's kind of what I expect them to do every time they step onto the court. But no, they're special girls, and like I said, with Kelby's energy, man, it's contagious. It makes other players around her feel better about themselves. It makes it easier for other players. She does that on a night in, night out basis, and Shantae just does it quietly. Won't say a word. Take care of her business, be the versatile threat that she is, and then she always anchors us down low.
All right, great job, Coach. Good win.
Thank you.
Steve, back over to you.
All right, we've got players of the game, and we did our featured players, and turns out they both earned it and deserved it at the end of the contest tonight. It's Shantae Embry and Kelby Washington. That's Washington knocking down a three, and they're not going to come out and get her, so she said, I'll just go ahead and take another one. And now she dumps it inside to Shantae Embry. Big, strong, left-handed power move to the basket. Puts it up off the glass and good for two. And then here she is. She gets the rebound, spins back towards the bucket, and put it up as they were victorious here tonight. Final score once again, 71-39. Back over to Zig one more time on the floor.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve. I'm standing here with the dynamic duo, Kelby and Shantae. Kelby, we'll start with you. 19 points, but I think you got to be a lot happy with the way you play defense.
Yeah, I think, my shots weren't falling as much, but I think you can get a stop on defense, so what you can do.
Is that something you guys pride yourself on? Because the pressure you were putting them on them right out toward midcourt all night.
Oh yeah, our thing is to get a stop. Defense wins games, so that's what we kind of dwell on as a team.
Well, good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, and Shantae Embry, big night for you as well. 19 points down low. You were crashing the boards. And again, I'll ask you about the defense. You were guarding a guard 20 feet from the bucket. Is that something you like to do?
Yes, I think that's important because in college, I won't be guarding post all the time, and I'll be guarding the guards and everything. So I think me guarding them now is good for me in the long run. So I think I'm very proud of my defense.
Your team won state last year. Feel any pressure? And Coach said that you guys kind of direct yourselves. You know the motivation you have to get back there.
Yes, with me not being on the team last year, and I know the high standard they have for the team, so I just came in with the mindset of just working hard and finding my place on the team. So I think I'm doing good of that, and just having the high tempo of the game and everything. So I think we're working hard towards that goal again.
Congratulations, good game.
Yeah, thank you.
Steve, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Once again, our final score, 71-39. Our final score, the Norman High girls defeat Southmoore tonight. We'll take a timeout and come back with more for you. Stay with us.
Attention! Do you owe the IRS more than $10,000? If so, listen to this important message about the IRS Fresh Start Program, a special IRS program that can potentially save you thousands by qualifying. But acceptance into the Fresh Start Program is not automatic, so we will connect you with a tax professional for a free consultation. Once you're accepted, the IRS must stop all harassing collection activities. Call 800-430-2910 now to find out if you may qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start Program. Call 800-430-2910.
Healthcare costs are out of control and healthcare plans are getting more and more complicated. Make sure you're not being overcharged for too little health insurance. Call Health Insurance Advisors of America now. They'll show you the most health benefits for you and your family for the least amount of money. Imagine more affordable coverage for doctor's visits, prescriptions, dental, hospital, vision, and more. Call HIAA to hear about the most health coverage for the least amount of money. Call 800-940-8313.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's take a look at our Cox play of the game. Here it is.
Well, Norman moving the ball up court. Quick flip pass. Alea Henderson finishes it off after Kelby Washington feeds her. And they move the ball off the miss. Check it out. A couple of dribbles, and then one, and then tip in the bucket easily. And a big night for the Norman Lady Tigers, your Cox play of the game.
Pretty play there, no question about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the game highlights for the evening as, again, Norman wins it by a final of 71-39. Washington from just outside the three-point line. She was able to do that several times on the evening. Southmoore had their highlights of the evening as well as they were able to get the shot up there, knock it down from just inside the free throw line. Then Embry showing her size, her strength, her versatility, taking it inside, getting the bucket for two. Cross-court pass, they don't come out far enough on Washington. She says, okay, it's like a free throw for me.
Yeah. And then she picks him clean, and then another. That's almost like our Cox player of the game right there. Southmoore got things rolling, the bank three. And they were hitting some big threes in the first half, Steve. Got to within 3 points. It was a three-point game at 24-21. And then Norman just turned up the heat. You gotta guard Washington. She was too wide open on that play right there. And then second half, it was Embry down low, got the rebound, off her own miss, to stick it back in. She had 19 to lead all scorers tonight for the Norman Lady Tigers. And then Washington, another big steal at midcourt to lay it up and in. And it was just too much Norman Tigers tonight. Number 6th-ranked team in the state.
Washington to Henderson. And there's that play of the game that we showed you earlier. And one more before we wrap it up here. Southmoore going to fire one up from deep outside. That basket is good, but it wasn't enough for the Lady Cats as they fall to Norman tonight by a final score of 71-39. And let's take a look at the final numbers here as you take a look. Turnovers, the big thing that stands out there.
24 turnovers. I think that a 10 in the first quarter alone.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Southmoore. Just could not hang on to the ball. Did a nice job when they held on to it in the first half. Hit some threes. Not as consistent in the second half with those threes. Struggled with the foul line as well. Pretty much all the stats lead toward Norman having a better night, which they did. And that's why they came out on top, 71-39.
All right, that's going to do it for our girls game here tonight. We'll step away for just a bit. Both boys teams are on the floor warming up. And we'll bring you the boys contest, the #1 rated team in the state, Southmoore, ready to take on the Norman Tigers. We'll be back in just a few. Stay with us.